Hi, my name is Priya Khanna. I'm your Feng Shui expert, and I'm going to take you through this session of learning how to make a wealth box. First of all, it's very important to note what is a wealth box and why do we need to make it. The reason why we need to make a wealth box is because the only way of allowing yourself to understand how successful you are, people generally associate it with the amount of wealth that they have accumulated in their lives. The wealth box is made so that we can generate more income, more wealth. And it's a very age-old science in which that it has been said that making a wealth box will generate more money in the house. It will make things get better. There will be more income. And that is why the Chinese believe quite intensively in making a wealth box. So a wealth box can look like either this, which you see here, or like this ingot, which is symbolic of wealth. And you know, in age-old China, they used to have gold that looked like these boxes, like these little ingots that you see out here. It's quite light. It has very little weight. It can be opened, so it's got a cover. It's hollow inside, so you can place your things in it. And you also have something which is quite similar, looks exactly like this. So this particular sort of a box has to be created in a certain manner, and once you've created this, you need to position it in your master bedroom inside the wardrobe. So I'm going to take you through the entire process of how this is going to be made. It's very important to note the basic things that we require to make this box. The most important thing in this entire process is the wealth pyramid. The wealth pyramid is a piece which has been created from natural crystal. It has a carving inside from the back, which is engraved. This engraving creates a pattern or a vortex of energy that goes up into the apex center of this crystal, hence making this crystal very powerful. If you will notice, there is a hollow here. So this hollowness is what will get the energy to move upwards and take it towards the apex center, which is the tip of the crystal up here. When we make a wealth box, the final thing would look somewhat like this. These are the few things that you will be requiring whilst making a wealth box. The size of the wealth box depends upon what is your aspiration. How large do you want your accumulation of wealth to be? And keeping that in mind, keeping a very realistic view in mind, you have to choose your wealth box. Most of the times I suggest people to start with a size as big as this and start adding all your ingredients into a box like this. Now we'll go on to how it is done and what all do we require to make this wealth box. First and foremost, it's important for you to have a currency. So let's say if you are like us in the UAE, you would use the local currency of that country. It could mean that you could be in the United Kingdom and you could use the British pounds, or you could be in Europe and use euros, or you could be in America and use American dollars, or in Australia and use Australian dollars. Now the currency is the currency of the country that you're living in and from where your income is coming. That is very, very important. So I've seen people sometimes, what they do is they take monies that they might have accumulated over the years from different parts of the world, and they use that. Now, that's not going to make it work. Why? Because your income's not coming from those parts of the world. So it's very important to be very, very specific with this one. I'm showing you this particular 100 dirhams note. Now this particular 100 dirhams note has some value in the sense that, you know, it's got a falcon here, and if you notice, it's got a little portion which shows 100 in a red color. Then it has a 100 written, again there's the base is a red color, and then there's 100 written which is base is a slight gray color. Color plays a very important role. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this dirham, 100 dirhams note, and we're going to fold it in such a manner that we do not use the one which has the beak of the falcon. We're going to use the one which is the red portion. So we're going to turn it around like that, fold it, and make it as small as this. When you do that, you have 100 written on a red baseline. If you turn it around, it's 100 written on a gray baseline. What we're going to use is the 100 with the red baseline. What is the reason for doing so? The reason is that red is a color that energizes, and gray is a color which is diminishing. So we will use something that energizes wealth. Okay, this is just a very, very fine point. It's not the main point, it's not something that you have to give too much importance to, but yes, every little thing and every little detail will help. So that's how you fold your 100 dirham note. Once you've done that, you keep it aside. You have to have a 100 dirham note, you also have to have a coin. Now this could be the currency of the country you are in, so whichever metal coin that you get. Now a lot of places don't have denominations of ones, and if that is the case in your country, all you have to do is get the next denomination, not the lower one but the higher one. So let's say if you don't have a 1 pound or a one, I mean I know there's a 1 pound, but in other countries maybe there's no $1 in metal. Get the next thing that you have in metal, right? And then use it, and place it on top of this 100, the number 100, and use the area where the numeric is written. So the face of the numeric is facing upwards. So the positioning is like that. It's 100 dirhams, and then you position the 1 dirham coin on top of it. Once you've done that, you're supposed to position the crystal on top of it. This is how it's built. So we're building on wealth, we're building on energy, we're building on numerics at this point in time. This is just for you to understand. It's not for you to do as yet. It's for you to understand. Okay, before we go any further, I'm also going to show you what else we require. So I'm going to show you what we require to make a wealth box. Now, here, as you see, are these little ingots. These little ingots are a replica of what you saw here. You know, the big ones, and then we have the small ones. And they're quite light. They have no weight in them. They're very, very light. And they are symbolic, as I told you, of wealth. So we use 9 ingots in a wealth box. Why 9? The reason why we're using 9 right now is because we are in the age of 8, and we are generating the energy for the age of 8 as well as the age of 9. So that's why we're putting 1 extra ingot. So when we were in the age of 7, that was prior to 2004, we were using 8 ingots. So if you were to go into my websites and look at some past procedures or whatever, you will find that I say 8 ingots. However, now we use 9. So you make that a surety that you do put in 9, because you don't want to not make money for the next 20 years as well. All right, so now that's what we have in terms of ingots, and then we have these natural crystals. Natural crystals are real crystals. Now this is not just stone. This is something which comes out of Mother Earth. And we've got rose quartz, we've got jade, so you can see here, and you've got a feroza here. You know, you've got these lovely ones. You've got this beautiful moss agate. Yeah, we've got tiger eye. So we've got a multitude of crystals, The reason why using multitude of crystals is because we require all sorts of energy to support the entire process of generating the power that is required to stimulate the wealth energy in the wealth box. Now, how many of them do we use? We use 28. 28. Why 28? Because in Chinese Feng Shui, 28 is a number for easy money. So here we're using a bit of numerology, okay, Chinese numerology, and we're adding that. As I said earlier, these are not the most important things. If you don't have 28, doesn't mean it won't work, but it would just work a bit better if you had 28. Long time back, we used to use 8. Now the reason we were using 8 was because we were still making small wealth boxes. And as we kept being exposed to more energy by my masters and by the process of understanding how the patterns work and function, we realized that 28 was the exact number required. I'm not going to say that in a few years from now we won't be using 44, because the next level of vibrational energy then takes you up to a number of 44, but that's a while to go as yet. We're not going there right now. Okay, so besides that, we require to have with us something that's called an arowana, a golden arowana. I'm sure you've heard of this one. If you're a Feng Shui enthusiast, I'm sure you would have heard of the golden arowana. Arowana is the kingfish in terms of Feng Shui, and is used to generate high-powered wealth. So we use this symbol of wealth in the wealth box. That's the arowana. And we have here, which is very interestingly, these are called the wealth cards. Now this is the large card and the small card, and you can have a look at it. And I think if you go into this, you see a close-up of these cards, you'll see it's sort of a print on the cards. And the energy that is printed is that of a figure, okay? And the figure has a form, and this form is what generates a vortex again of energy. And the energy that it generates is that of prosperity. So that's why they're called wealth cards. You have to position them one on top of the other. When you position them one on top of the other, the next step that we're going to do is position the 100 dirhams on top of it, then the 1 dirham coin, and then the pyramid. Now this is something very common. It just keeps slipping. So I had to come up with a very innovative way of doing the wealth box. And what did we do? We did something like this. This is for you to see. Now this is how a ready wealth box is going to look, and I'm going to put this back in because I took it out just to show you. Alright, so what we have here is the wealth cards are already positioned. We're going to put the beautiful 100 dirhams. We're going to put this coin on top, which is going to keep falling as usual, and you're not going to worry about it because it's just temporary. It's not going to be falling all the time. It's funny, but that's what happens. Anyways, this is what you do. Put it here, and then we're going to use Scotch tape. We're going to use Scotch tape and tape it on all 4 sides. There's an additional thing inside this box, which is a laughing Buddha. A laughing Buddha with money, and he's sitting. That's very important. He has to be sitting. The reason why he has to be sitting is because we don't want money coming in and money going out. And laughing Buddha is a symbol of prosperity energy, of money, of wealth. So we want him to sit there and hold the money and hold the energy inside this wealth box. Now, I've shown you what you need to do and how you need to do, but there's this basic step that you have to remember before you start doing any procedures related to Feng Shui, and that is clearing the space, clearing the energy that is there, which is present in everything. I don't know how many of you would know that every single piece of furniture, of merchandise in this universe has an energy. And it's almost like a living thing. I mean, I can talk to this box. I can find out how this box feels. Would it like to go into my home? Would it want to be my wealth box? And maybe sometimes it really doesn't want to go. And there could be a reason for it. There could be a reason because it's not feeling very happy, or it's not very clean, and it's not in the right state of energy. And hence, it doesn't want to be a part and parcel of my life. Now, I'm not going to go very deep into this because that's not what we're doing here today. But just to give you an idea as to why we do clearing of the space of whatever that we make or whatever that we take into our home. When we do that, we have a specific requirement. And the requirement is that of using incense. This is an incense that we have specially designed to do space clearing. It's a pure lavender. It's hand rolled. It has been made with pure essential oils. And the specific purpose of doing or using this incense is to clear off the energy of whatever that you're using it for. So it has a property of clearing energy. If you don't have a lavender incense of this quality, the next thing you could use is sandalwood incense. And sandalwood incense again does the same thing, but it has to be 100% pure. If it is not pure, it's not going to do nothing. Actually, it will have an adverse effect. If it's a synthetic sandalwood incense, it's going to just make the energy get clogged further. So what are we going to do with this? We're going to light it. And the way to cleanse the energy is to light the incense, let the fumes come up, and then almost like we fumigate, we're going to fumigate this box or this box or that box, depending upon whichever box you're using for making your wealth box. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it fumigate. Now how I really do it is, let me show you, is that I let the fumes go in. So I direct them inwards. And as I do that, I keep repeatedly saying in my mind, let the energy of this box be cleansed. Let the energy of this box be purified. Let all negativities, all negative psychic attacks, psychic contamination, all negative influences be externalized, exterminated, eradicated, and sent back into the universe, into their point of source, from wherever that they had come, into the divine light, allowing this energy to just be cleansed, starting right now. And as you do that, you will find the space will be very clear, it'll be very soft, and you can actually feel the softness. This is very interesting. Try doing this before you have started to use the incense. Feel the energy, pick up the energy, feel it. So feel it. You will have a certain sensation in your hands. Post having done this, post having used the incense, pick up the energy again. Literally like you pick up anything. Pick up fabric, pick up silk, pick up the energy. Feel it. And you'll find there's a softness in the energy. There's a certain sort of a feeling of divine cleanliness. It's something very, very soft. You'll feel like it's silk. Now that is when you know that the space has been cleared. This space has been cleared. Now this is a very simple sort of a way of doing things. If you were to use this regularly, which means after every 20-25 days, if you just clear the energy of the space of your wealth box, you will find tremendous results, really good results. So this is how you are going to make your wealth box. You're going to fix this entire processing like the way I've designed it here. Now the reason of designing it the way it's been done, let me explain that to you. So let's go into this wealth box. Ingots placed at certain distances, all at angles, none of them at daggers ends with the other. They all placed in a very amicably designed manner. Why? So that the energy meanders. It doesn't hit against anything. And then we have a spray, literally like a spray of these crystals, which are just supporting the energy of the ingots. And there's this beautiful laughing Buddha sitting out there. He is just like looking so contented, so happy.